Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into Old School here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. It's been a while since I said that. It feels very strange.
Why are you laughing?
It's been a while.
All right.
We'll miss it a little bit.
We're also, just kind of not out of it, but we're just, it's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
And it feels like a Friday.
It's Friday. I've been here most of the day.
Yeah.
And, Now we're just hanging out for half an hour, me and you one more time.
Yeah.
And then
just forever. No, I'm just
forever.
kidding.
That's it.
This
This is how this works.
We're watching a bowl game?
Yeah, we're watching UTSA and Troy try and fight each other. I do have to mention, you guys can get in contact with us, 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line, the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream as well. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and the Twitter Live, as DP likes to affectionately call it. I will say that the news is good on DP. He was out of surgery yesterday, doing good. He's hanging out at home, recovering. Hopefully he's not, working himself too hard, because I guarantee he's probably still working, because that's just kind of what that guy does.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully he's just enjoying some UTSA and Troy football and
let's hope.
Sitting on his couch and just relaxing, maybe in a recliner. I don't know if they have a recliner. I'm sure they have a recliner.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but it is good that DP's all good and well, and now it's the recovery, rest and R&R, the rest and recovery, and I told him
how much R&R does he actually take?
I don't know, but I told him on Wednesday when I said adios to him and I left the station. I said, "Don't rush back. We got this."
Yeah. I was just like, "Hey, have fun."
Yeah,
I don't know how much fun you can have in surgery, but have fun.
So.
Have fun in your recovery stages.
Obviously, DP, we're still thinking about you, still in our thoughts and our prayers, and we're happy that obviously everything went well.
Mm-hmm.
But just take your time, rest and recover, all that good stuff.
Also, but shout out to the Mercado, certified Piedmontese.
This is new territory here. We got to make sure we get all the.
I have to make sure I get it all in. I listen, when I leave, so I got to make sure I get it all in. Something about a sorbet.
Okay, so
I've never had the sorbet.
So I had the strawberry sorbet last Friday when we were out there. Delicious. I understand why Jay always raves about it.
A sorbet.
It's basically, it's not ice cream. It's a very smooth type of ice cream. Okay. Very smooth type of ice cream.
Okay.
And I'm sure the text line will have a more technical definition. But we also had, DP and I tried the lemon as well, and the lemon was really good. I'm not a huge lemon guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the lemon sorbet was delicious. I know Jay is a huge fan of the tomahawk steaks out there.
I need one.
Last Friday when I was there, I splurged a little bit, got a what's it called? A strip.
Mm-hmm. New York strip.
And I got it was a ribeye. A ribeye and a New York strip.
That sounds fantastic.
And I took them over to, in all transparency, I took it over to my parents because I was gonna let my dad and we're gonna eat it together anyway. And he was like, "This is great," because here's the deal: is we don't usually buy that great of steaks. We don't usually spend.
You just go to a regular grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. A regular. And now here's the deal: is once I introduced my parents to the Mercado, they were like, "Okay, we found our place where."
I need to go meat shopping there. I know Rachel was gifted some steaks from work.
There you go.
From the Mercado, and it was 2 New York strips, and I actually made them the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the best steak that I've ever had.
I also know, so I get my hamburgers from the Mercado. They're delicious, the steakhouse burgers. But then I was also looking at the Casa Bovina the restaurant that's on the top floor.
I want to go there for like a date night.
Bingo. But just a heads up for everybody, if you want to head out there, they need reservations. It has to be, it's a reservation kind of place only.
Yeah, thank you.
And so while I was sitting there listening to DP and Jay on Old School that day, I was looking at when their next reservation was. They're booked like 3 weeks out.
Are they?
Now it's the holiday season, so that might play a part in it. Yeah. But just in case you're thinking about a date night, you got an anniversary coming up, got something special coming up, and you want to take your significant other out there to Casa Bovina, great choice, number one. Number two, make sure you have a reservation.
Might have to do that.
A couple weeks in advance because they're filling up fast. That's
Rachel's
super popular.
Rachel's at work. She's not listening. I might have to do that.
Perfect.
Figure something out there. Because, man, that stuff is delicious. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Old School, brought to you by the Mercado.
Yeah. As Corey and Lincoln says, if someone doesn't know what sorbet is, ice cream is close enough to get the point across. Yeah. Okay. I mean.
So it's just fancy ice cream.
It's very smooth and flavorful ice cream.
Okay.
So, I was telling you, Rico, before the show, or before even we wrapped up on the block, that this time of year,
before we wrapped up on the block,
yeah, this time of year, it is the worst possible time to go to Target.
Yeah, no, any
worst possible time,
any store.
Now, okay, yeah, no, and not because the store
have you
is
been
bad.
In Blue Target?
No, I have not.
It's terrible right now.
I went to Red Walmart across the street.
Just the worst.
And when I tell you I had to park about 3/4 of a mile away, and I had to. Number two, I mean, that place was packed. Mm-hmm. And when I go shopping, this might be a bad thing to me. I usually put AirPods and I'll listen to music while I'm shopping.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to anybody.
It's not even that. It's just like don't bother me, honestly. So I'll walk up and through the store or whatever. And first of all, a lot of stuff's picked over.
Oh, yeah.
Second of all, like all the good things are especially picked over because they were sales and they're gone now. And Christmas stuff is really expensive.
Yes.
Like wrapping paper.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue how expensive wrapping paper is nowadays.
You got to get it early.
And I guess what the plan is for me to do now is, I mean, because I'll be honest, like when I lived on my own or when I lived with my parents, it was just, take theirs.
Just mooch off there, right?
But basically what I need to do now, and people on text line will probably say this eventually, is that I need to get wrapping paper and all the supplies immediately after Christmas when it's all just like clearance.
Yep.
They're trying to get rid of everything.
Then you just hold on to it, and then you'll have it for next year. And plus, you can get some pretty good wrapping paper.
Yeah, so I guess
pretty cheap.
So honestly, guys, I'm once again, this is the segment of just warnings and advice from Nick and Rico that if you plan on going shopping right now, don't, or if you have to because you waited to the last minute to get Christmas gifts, then plan for like an hour trip to one store.
Yeah. Also, if you're ordering anything online, went to rainforest.com. I'm not going to say the name because no free shout outs.
Mm-hmm.
The very popular rainforest in South America. That.com. Went to that one and I was ordering something and it said delivery date December 28th to January 6th. And I was like, well, looks like this person's not getting this gift.
Yeah, see, like that's how companies advertise now is like order by this date to get it in time for the holidays.
Yep.
So I don't know. The milkman asked on the text line once again 402-464-5685. Nick, how old are you? You sound sometimes like you're 70. Here's the deal, milkman, and everybody out there. I continue to claim that I am a 55 or 60-year-old man trapped in a 21-year-old body. So technically, I'm 21 years old, but I feel like I'm 70. So your assessment is correct, I suppose.
This person's saying they have wrapping services at some stores. Not the stores I go to.
Also,
I don't go to fancy stores with wrapping services.
Okay, this is gonna.
What are you rich?
Time out. This is
shopping at rich person stores with people that wrap your own gifts. Well, why don't you wrap your own gifts, Eric?
Eric and Lincoln shops at those fancy stores.
Add a personal touch to your gifts. Don't have somebody random wrap it.
This is gonna go right into the conversation of
how I wrap a microwave.
How I'm 70 years old.
Yeah.
If I can do it,
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't. Now there is. Now I will say,
a gift. It's gonna look terrible, but I'm gonna do it.
I should have taken a picture because I wrapped a couple gifts before I came back. I was pretty happy with the job. I was pretty happy. Okay. There's nothing wrong. Like here's the deal. The wrapping service, like great for people that maybe just don't have time, unfortunately. And I mean, you could argue that we're pretty busy as well, Rico. But
I would never.
The one thing that I will say I splurge on, maybe this isn't even a splurge because it's just kind of how it is nowadays. I do the grocery online stuff.
You're such a, I don't know.
I do the grocery online.
I don't even know what you are.
Because here's why. Number one, I buy the same stuff every week. I don't change up what I buy.
Why?
Just because I'm
boring.
I'm comfortable in what I have. And so and what I eat for breakfast, what I eat for lunch, and what I eat for dinner.
Switch it up.
I'm comfortable. So
never get comfortable.
I'm comfortable in what I eat every day. Anyway, have the same meal on Monday, same meal on Tuesdays usually.
That is boring.
So it's pretty
I like
normal.
playing the game with my wife and kids where we get home and it's 6:30 and we go, so what are we eating tonight? And then we don't know.
Well,
then
it turns out to like, which this isn't bad. This is not a knock against you guys. Turns into like chicken nuggets out of the freezer.
Unless we don't have any.
Okay, then
we got to figure out something to make.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of fast food restaurants by your house.
There really aren't because it's
a
long drive.
You got Taco Bell.
Nope,
down the road a little bit.
No, that's decently far. Everything is decently far.
Is Taco Inn still over there on 27th?
Don't know.
It was connected. No,
it is not.
Was it Amigos now? I think it's Amigos on that corner.
Yeah, it's Amigos.
All I know is, you got Cracker Barrel out there.
You can't just
not fast food. You got Dairy Queen.
Food. We haven't had Dairy Queen in a while, actually. Surprisingly, we should have Dairy Queen.
There you go.
Ask her if she wants Dairy Queen.
How about that?
Tonight.
Dairy Queen tonight. Dairy Queen Fridays. Little blizzards.
I'm gonna give me a butterfinger.
I'm sure Ellie would love blizzards.
She actually is very weird with ice cream. Like anyway, she needs like plain. She's boring. She needs like plain vanilla.
Rico,
I try to share like my blizzard with her, and she's like, "No, I don't want it." I was like, "You're 3. Yes, you do."
We had that conversation today, well, obviously off the air, about how like I'm thinking about telling my future kids that watermelon is candy.
I mean, you can.
So then they start looking at watermelon as candy, and it's like, wow,
look, Ellie loves watermelon.
I'll give you all the watermelon you can have.
Ellie loves watermelon, but it's not candy.
Yeah,
she knows what candy is.
I don't know.
Although she doesn't think Tootsie Rolls are candy.
Hey,
Tootsie Rolls are their own like subsection of whatever. She's like, have a Tootsie Roll. She goes, can I have some candy? I go, Tootsie Roll is candy. She goes, no, it's not. And I go, no, Elliot, a Tootsie Roll is candy. No, it's not. It's like, I can't with you. I
always wonder what's ingrained in like young children's minds to be so passionate about candy. And they're so I don't know. Eric and Lincoln says in all caps, "Hey, I do all my shopping at Shoemakers like Sip."
They wrap your stuff at Shoemakers?
Well, either they wrap your stuff at Shoemakers. Oh, that was a close one. That was a close one. It's Shoemakers. That's what I was about to say, but it was
that one slipped.
Anyway. But second of all, Eric, what's your age? I hate to ask you that, but how old are you?
I'm gonna go with.
I don't want to play that game.
Oh, no,
I don't want to play that game.
Look at previous texts.
Look at previous texts. See if they are run the damn ball. See if they are talking about anti-transfer portal.
No, there's like a meme Hallmark movie thing in here. I'm gonna go with early 30s.
I'm gonna go over.
Over
under. We're over.
Okay,
under.
So I'm going 33.
33. I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
Eric and Lincoln, you can go ahead and lie.
Now.
Yeah, go ahead and let us know. But you can lie all you want. Yes.
Dang
Turns 37 in a month.
Damn it.
There it is. Thank you, Eric. Shout out to Eric for playing.
You text younger than you are.
You text. Exactly. Until the Shoemakers won.
Yeah, the Shoemakers should have given that away. Damn it.
Shout out to the Shoemakers Buffet. Missed that place.
Hey, do you want to get a quick little sports segment in before you leave?
Should we talk about Bryce Young?
I think we should talk about Bryce Young and Will Anderson Jr. As everyone is well knowing that collegiate football players are skipping out on bowl games. Yep. You know, in some bowl games that are not playoff bowl games, and some of the playoffs, they have decided to skip those bowl games, not play in them, not play their final games with their collegiate teams in order to save their bodies for the NFL and save themselves so they don't get hurt and possibly cost themselves millions of dollars. Well, Bryce Young and Will Anderson, 2 juniors on the Alabama football team, Alabama not in the playoff. Bryce Young, Will Anderson have decided not to skip their bowl game as they will both participate in, I don't know, whatever bowl the Sugar Bowl that Alabama is playing Kansas State in.
Yeah.
Both are projected first-round draft picks. Will Anderson projected top 5.
Both, I would say both are
top
projected
5?
top 10. I would say top 10.
Top 10. Both are
Yeah.
top 10 projected picks, and both are going to be playing in their bowl game, which is, in today's college football, very strange. You would think that a player who's projected in the top 10 would skip out on the bowl game and not get that much flack for it, because if you are to get hurt, if Will Anderson is to get hurt in this bowl game and he goes, I don't know, early second round,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the rookie contract, the pay scaling that he would miss out on is astronomical. The way that his family would be set for life pretty much after that first contract as a rookie, from getting a top 10 pick to, at least you're going to be set for a while with a second round draft pick. It's crazy how different it is.
Yeah, and I think I mean, obviously second round draft picks aren't, just massive, but it is a significant pay reduction. I would also say this in terms of strictly Bryce Young and Will Anderson playing for Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Number one, I think it's important to note that Bryce Young is a returning Heisman Award winner, either reigning Heisman Award winner.
Not reigning anymore.
Not reigning anymore from 2 years ago. And Will Anderson was arguably the best player in all of college football, regardless of position, last season. Mm-hmm. And now you have them opting in an era of opt-outs. And I think it speaks a lot to what Alabama means to them as a program. I think it's important to kind of visit that discussion, because a lot of guys nowadays will go to a school that obviously will help them get to the next league, and that's what Alabama does, is they transcend football players and they or improve football players and get them prepared for the NFL. And as Jay Foreman talks about, and he's mentioned multiple times, is NFL not for long, right? And for two of Alabama's best players to want to play in a Sugar Bowl that has no college football playoff implications, has no national title implications, and when you are pretty much surefire first-round picks, unless for some reason you get injured, like injured in combine, injured in preparation, injured in practice, whatever, you're as surefire of a first-round pick as you can be. And yet you want to play in this bowl game. I think it shows maybe the message that Nick Saban preaches to his guys about finishing a job completely. And not to say that Alabama hasn't had opt-outs or LSU hasn't had opt-outs. Obviously, Leonard Fournette was the first one that really kind of got this.
Christian
McCaffrey as well, that got this, time and era of opt-outs kind of becoming a normalcy. But I think it says a lot about what Nick Saban and how he runs his program when you have two guys that, like I said, surefire first-round picks, barring something crazy happening, and they want to play in basically a bowl game that, unfortunately, I don't want to say meaningless, because I don't want to put that label on there, but how often have we heard over the last couple of years, Rico, as bowl games have become, changing in sponsorships, and when you have what's it called? Like locations changing quite a bit. And you have the Rose Bowl saying, we're not going to take this team. We're not going to take Purdue. We want to take Penn State, even though Purdue is technically the team that should have been in. You have this picking and choosing now, because it's truly and publicly becoming all about the money. And they're not even hiding it anymore or trying to hide it. And to come out here and say, in a Sugar Bowl, when most of the time during bowl season, according to, coaches or fans, it's the practices that are the most important part.
Yep.
I think it speaks a little bit of volume when your two best players on your Alabama Crimson Tide football team choose to play in the bowl game.
Their want to play football is just higher than a lot.
And this isn't this. And maybe they have added NIL deals. Maybe there's some added bonuses there. But I truly don't think that that's the thing that's driving the ship. Like, Bryce Young is doing just fine on NIL. He's Dr. Pepper's guy after DJ Uiagalelei, fell off the face of the earth. Because people forget DJ Uiagalelei was the first NIL rep, or one of the first, after Spencer Rattler, and he signed with Dr. Pepper for $1 million a year. Then he fell off the face of the earth, and they signed Bryce Young to replace the guy, and he's like their new brother.
Lost his starting job. Now he's transferring. Yeah, Bryce Young is the new face of Dr. Pepper.
Now here's the thing: as Augie says, it's interesting. He's like, I think Saban's afraid of losing to Kansas State. Here's what's wild, Rico. I'm not counting K-State out.
I mean, they could still lose.
People
Kansas
know
State.
people know I love Chris Kleiman. We're not going to get into that again, but like Chris Kleiman saying, okay, we'll still match up.
I'm reading the ESPN ticker. Saban says he doesn't expect any Alabama players to opt out.
And so maybe that's a message. But you know, and who knows? Maybe in 3-4 years, Nebraska's going to have guys that opt out of their New Year's Six bowl game.
Perfect. Can't wait.
We'll have those discussions in.
Can't wait for Nebraska to be good enough to play in a
Anytime
New
here.
Year's Six bowl game and have players opt out.
To even have that be a discussion.
Exactly. Can't wait.
That's what's going to be crazy is the
That's
discussion.
the good, like having players opt out of bowl games. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like that means that you have really good players on your roster.
Well, I think, yeah, and that's kind of what Eric and Lincoln says. Wouldn't it be nice to have talented players on a roster that would opt out of bowl games? Means we have the players, right? And I think
Exactly.
to an extent,
Oh no.
and unfortunately, like we sit here, and especially Matt Corral after last year,
Mm-hmm.
like it's similar to transfer portal. You can't fault him. Like
No.
you can't fault the athlete, especially when it's legal. Number one, number two, especially when if Nebraska ever gets a guy of Bryce Young's caliber or Will Anderson's caliber at outside linebacker or edge rusher, whatever they have him labeled at for the Crimson Tide.
Is he a middle linebacker?
Maybe he is a linebacker, middle linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
Who knows? He gets a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
And like you're sitting there going, how do you tell this guy, nah, man, risk another game of injury at the college level in a game that has no national title implications and maybe not be a number one or first round draft pick. So it's just kind of, but hey, I mean, just to tell you how college football is changing. I mean, T. Farley was telling me today, like he showed us the picture of the black shirts back when they went to a bowl game. And he goes, never in a million years would we think we'd opt out. He's like, never in a million. That just wasn't happening. And AD talked about it this morning on the show as well. But here they are, like, no, they're not opting out, number one.
Yeah.
And Nebraska had an entire unit for opt-outs that could have opted out. So,
Opt-outs, opt-ins, bowl games.
shout out to Bryce Young, though. Like, this is what we wanted, right?
It's
like,
cool.
this is what the other side wanted, where they were like, oh, we're tired of dudes opting out.
It's something that
so,
here
we go.
I talked
They're
about
opting
earlier.
in.
Like, I don't care if you opt out, if you opt in. It's your future. This has absolutely you entertaining me in a football game has absolutely nothing to do with your future and your health and the money that you're going to be making. Like, you missing this game and me being upset because you're missing this game does absolutely nothing for you. And I mean, I can whine and complain about it all I want, but this is their future that they have to worry about. So look, you can whine and complain, but ultimately their decision is their decision. Their future is their future. And this football game may be meaningless to them. It doesn't really matter.
Well, and Corey and Lincoln has a couple interesting points on the text line. I know we got to get to break, but you got to
go.
Well, yeah, in a second. Corey and Lincoln says lots of players opt out, but isn't the norm still to opt in? Don't the majority of big time guys still play? I guess with that, Corey,
what's your definition of big time guys?
Yeah, is because I think we base this off of NFL potential or NFL draft pick and where we think they could get drafted in the next NFL draft. And like I sit here, and if a guy is projected to go 5th or 6th round in the NFL draft, like, okay, opt out of the bowl game, but that is not another opportunity for you to improve your draft stock. Like at that point, not saying that it's not an accomplishment to get drafted in the 5th or in the later rounds. Like I'm not trying to take that away from guys, but I sit here and I'm like, that's just another opportunity to go up against in this. I mean, if Nebraska was in Kansas State's shoes, okay, or a perfect example would be Adrian Martinez. Adrian Martinez at Kansas State right now, if he's projected, be signed as a wide receiver or drafted as a wideout in the 5th, 6th round, whatever, or even 7th round, I wouldn't see the benefit necessarily to opting out because you are going up against maybe one of the best, if not the best team that you've played this entire season.
Yeah.
And that is an opportunity for you to put on game film.
Show up and show out.
That's another opportunity for you to show scouts that when you're playing basically Alabama, we went through their entire recruiting classes last year, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1 in terms of recruiting classes the last couple of years. I mean, they're guys that are day one NFL starters. Like that's how they're projected. So yeah, exactly. So like Corey and Lincoln says, we had an entire team opt out of a bowl game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What's interesting, Corey, half of the team, I think, opted out.
Yeah.
I think it was a situation where the offense didn't want to play.
The offense didn't want to play.
But the defense wanted to play. And
when you have an offensive-minded head coach at the time,
bingo.
But hey,
so
we're not getting into that. That's going to do it for the first
segment. Is Martinez going to get drafted?
There's a chance. I don't see it.
It's going to be as a wide receiver. I think it's going to be as a wide receiver because you look at a dual threat quarterback, Rico, and you like.
No, I know.
Bryce Young.
No, I know.
And it's like Adrian Martinez, and it's how much of a dual threat is he?
If he gets drafted, if he gets drafted at all, it's third day.
Yeah,
5th, 6th, 7th.
I agree.
He's not going any higher than that, but we'll see. That's going to do it for the first segment of Old School. Nick's got to go.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
Guys.
I might be running solo until Jay shows up. So if you guys could all keep me company, that would be fantastic. Might talk a little bit more of the opt-out. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But first segment of Old School down. A couple more to go. See you on the other side.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else. Open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Decking the halls with boughs of holly sure sounds great until you're the one who has to do it. Take the stress out of your holiday parties this year and host your gatherings at Suite A Events by Mary Ellen's. Suite A is the perfect place for your year-end company parties or other large gatherings. Suite A and Mary Ellen's can handle the food, the desserts, the decorations, and of course, those holiday spirits. See for yourself online at sweetaevents.com or at 27th and Pine Lake, right next to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
Nebraska fans, Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln is a proud donor of Nebraska Athletics. Brokers Insurance Agency is located at 33rd and A Streets in the heart of Lincoln. At Brokers, they can help you with all your insurance needs. Let them worry about your insurance so you have more time to enjoy the college football season. Call one of their licensed agents today at 402-420-5353 or visit their website at brokersinsurancene.com. Go Big Red.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you Go Big Red!
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for technicians of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package with 100% paid employee health insurance, paid time off, paid parental and bereavement leave, an annual recreation bonus, and a boot and clothing allowance. Landmark offers the latest certified John Deere training so you're up to date with the newest equipment and technology. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmark.careers. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
It is well documented on how Winston Peter and the Black Shirts treated Scott Frost in practice when he transferred back home from Stanford.
What we do to Scott Frost? We didn't do nothing to Scott Frost.
That's well documented. You haven't read about it,
Yeah,
Terrell?
we did it.
You were there.
We did it. We did it. You sure?
Oh, yeah,
you sure right. And it was fun. Yeah.
Don't act like you wasn't part of that.
Yeah, I was.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, old school on a Friday. Congratulations, everybody. You made it through the week. You did a great job. I don't know if you actually did a great job, but I'm going to tell you did a great job. And you tell yourself you did a great job because you made it through the week. You made it through another week. You're a week closer to Christmas, to an extended weekend, hopefully, for a lot of you. So we'll see exactly what happens with everybody. But, hey, we're talking bowl games. We're talking people opting out, people opting in. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I am knowing one thing, and that is that I am joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, one Jay Foreman. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing all right, man. What about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. I was just chilling here waiting for you.
Yeah. Walk right in. There's a big hit.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting for UTSA and Troy. UTSA, I think, maybe the favorite in this one, but they keep getting down the field and then turning the ball over. I think it's happened 3 times already since I've been watching.
Yeah. Well,
they just can't figure it out.
I think we were used to seeing that over the years. We're used to seeing that, man.
It's like 2 fumbles and an interception almost returned for a touchdown.
It is the season, a bowl season. So now we are somewhat entertained until the big game started, and takes a little bit of the heat off of Nebraska football, even though it's going to heat up this weekend, it sounds like, with the recruiting weekend. And then obviously with the signing period come Wednesday. That's a big day in the program history. I don't think it's as important as – it's not going to make or break, but it'll give you a glimpse into what this kind of was 80% of the staff, because the staff's not fully, hired. So what this staff is about, it gives you a little bit of a glimpse into what type of players they like, or also give you a glimpse into maybe the magnitude of, some coaches being retained, some coaches not, of who doesn't stay in the class. And so, whether that's present players or players that are in high school or JUCO or transfer portal. So this is a pressure-packed weekend for coaches.
They had 18 visitors last week, and they got 15 so far
this week.
This week, and they added a late one. Yeah, that we know about.
There's always ones that are here that you don't know.
Yeah, they add Benny Ngoyi was a late add.
That's good.
And then that linebacker from Oklahoma, who
Yeah.
he's got no stars. He's not not ranked nationally or anything, but he is. I had 180 tackles, 180 plus in 10 games in the second biggest class in Oklahoma.
He's listed as a linebacker. He's more of a kind of a rover striker in this 3-3-5 type of defense. Perfect, tailor made. He when he hits though, he can hit. He's like I think like 195, 205. He can flat out play football. I mean, when you watch his tape, it's 1,000% downhill, and I'm making big plays, and he diagnoses plays really well. They also kind of, if you remember back in Purdue, they had a little bit of Isaac Gifford and kind of like a diamond type of kind of short safety and kind of run and hit position. He plays that, so I think he fits right in multiple ways. I mean, he's gonna. I don't know how if he's gonna make a huge impact as a freshman. But I think that he'll make an impact, definitely on special teams, starting out, and then obviously work his way on the field because he's a football player.
He'll be a guy you see making some plays somewhere, and then later on,
he's a guy that fits the system, and he's a pretty good athlete.
Yeah,
because he can run, he has really good closing speed, he's got pretty good short area quickness. So that lets being coached up, he can cover the pass. So I think he's a guy that has a nose for the football, and that's what you want. You want more football players right now.
It seems like they're going after a lot of speed on offense and defensive side. Speed,
and then now we got to attack this defensive line and offensive line, and then after that, I think you can be pretty happy. But as I've always said, a lot of your wins and losses are going to be on the roster that you have. That's why it's so important. I keep talking about this. I know everybody gets excited about this transfer portal, new signing period, as you should, but the ability to re-recruit your roster, especially as a new regime.
Yeah.
And then as the time goes on, it's huge. And we've seen the impact on it in a previous staffs and coaches and coaches.
Yeah.
If you can do that, then you're starting to build foundation pieces. Then you won't have such mass exodus. Then you'll have guys that actually you can like, yeah, I can see why he leave. He didn't fit. Or I can see why he leave. He really wants to go play. He might have to go down. Or you won't see guys just, up and leaving for no reason. Okay. No legitimate reason.
Well, that makes sense. So we're going to take a quick break here. Then we're going to have a quick second because I want to ask you about the quarterback position. They've got another quarterback coming in, Malik Hornsby coming in. He's got 3 years to play too. Still, everybody, we're undecided on what Casey, or he's undecided on Casey Thompson, what he's going to do. He had labrum surgery. We're not sure if it was major or minor labrum surgery, but we'll talk. I'm going to ask you about that. And I'm going to see what your thoughts on the quarterback position is coming right back up on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and I'm back with Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, you said to me earlier you have a lot going on at the dealership. Can you tell our listeners about it?
Sure can, Charlie. As I've said before, if you don't see a vehicle on our lot that you're looking for, it's probably on its way soon.
So, how many new Hondas do you have in stock or on the way?
We have a total of over 325, Charlie, with a great selection of Pilots and Ridgelines in stock right now.
Well, we have been talking about the Honda of Lincoln way of buying cars for several months. How is that going?
People love it. We're buying all makes and models, whether they purchase the car from us or not. I mean, really, it's a no hassle, and we will pay them cash on the same day.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Nebraska fans, Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln is a proud donor of Nebraska Athletics. Brokers Insurance Agency is located at 33rd and A Streets in the heart of Lincoln. At Brokers, they can help you with all your insurance needs. Let them worry about your insurance so you have more time to enjoy the college football season. Call one of their licensed agents today at 402-420-5353 or visit their website at brokersinsurancene.com. Go Big Red.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for technicians of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package with 100% paid employee health insurance, paid time off, paid parental and bereavement leave, an annual recreation bonus, and a boot and clothing allowance. Landmark offers the latest certified John Deere training, so you're up to date with the newest equipment and technology. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmark.careers. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, family-friendly company who remind
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Blighter with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Blighter with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We are back. Old School. Jay Foreman and Rico. Last on the pass. Dang.
It's like old times.
Yeah, this is all good. Maybe we should do a rotation since it's the end of the year. Nate, you.
See if Nick wants to come in here one time.
Yeah.
You just missed him.
I know.
The first
I
half
seen him
hour.
burn rubber up out of here.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
He had a graduation party he had to get to.
Graduation?
Yeah,
I
a
hear
little
you.
bit. I guess his parents are throwing one for a family member. So
That's cool.
It's whatever.
It's that time of season.
Yeah. It's the reason for the season.
Yeah.
Everybody's graduating. I saw on my Facebook I think it was 5 years ago. Actually, it might be longer than that. However many years ago, was my graduation from UNK a couple days ago. So it's awesome.
Did it go by fast, or has it kind of been like, okay?
It's gone really fast,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought of, like, I saw it and I was like, holy crap, that was
Long
yeah, it was
time
5 years
yeah,
ago.
but it been like quick, right? Seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that is wild.
Sometimes I was like, man, I can't even believe I graduated college.
I don't know how I graduated.
That's what I'm saying.
I still
man.
remember
I don't
I still remember going to my advisor's office and she's like, look, you need to get this grade in this class
Right.
for your GPA to be high enough for you to graduate.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, okay, what class is it? And she told me, and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm getting
Right.
that high of a grade. But I did somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it. And I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, when you focus in, it'll be all good. But yeah, I was the same way, man. I was in the business school, so you had to have a 2.5. And I mean, granted, 2.5 shouldn't be that hard, but you have a couple bad classes or just lose a little bit of focus.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when my grandfather died, it was like my red shirt sophomore year, and I kind of like lost myself a little bit. And then I dug myself a pretty big hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually banked on summer school,
Yeah.
Well, the first summer school session, then it
material.
yeah. The bad spring semester and everything else just boiled right over to the first summer. Then I was like, you know what? I got to lock in. I got to get it together. It made a little bit of comeback, like a Return of the Jedi, but not like like it was probably Empire Strikes Back-esque. It wasn't fully Return of the Jedi.
You were almost there.
I was almost there. I almost was a Jedi Knight then. It was kind of like where Luke, he went there.
Yeah.
Yoda broke him down.
Super close. Seduced by the dark side.
But then I made a complete turnaround. I had a couple tests that just went way better than I thought I would be. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm on the back end of the 400.
There you go.
You know what I mean? You're like,
it hurts.
It hurts,
but you can do it.
But you know you're gonna make it. Yeah. So there I was, man.
It's surprising what 1 C- will do to your GPA. And then you get 3 A's, and it's like, oh, you went from a 2.48 to a 2.49. It's like, I got 4 A's. What in the world?
It's crazy.
When you do better, it doesn't help. But when you do bad, one little bad ruins the whole damn thing.
Just sticks with you like a black cloud. Yeah.
I had some summer classes, but they were all online. I can't do online classes.
Yeah.
I forget that I have the class because I'm not going to class. It's just on the computer. There was one, I didn't do any work for like 3 weeks. And then once I checked my email by chance, and it was like, you're missing this assignment, missing this assignment. I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
I went in there, and luckily there was like no late assignments. So I got in there, got it all done, and got a good grade. But I can't online classes. I forget. I can't do it. So that was that.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not school. College does it. I mean, college was great. It was a fun time.
Oh yeah. School
was not. I don't look back like, man, that was. I mean, the only class I really, really enjoyed was a business law class. I met one of my best friends there, Ryan Zussman. He's here. He lives here. Well, I knew him from the dorms, but we really, we were in the class, and it was Tuesdays and Thursday nights after practice, or maybe Tuesday nights, and that's after a hard practice, So I remember hustling, to get out of practice, eat, get a lift in, and then it was a 3-hour class.
Oof.
Hey, by 8:30, 9 o'clock, I was bobbing and weaving, ready to go because it was hot. In the wintertime, it get hot. They don't have the temperature control. It was just super high, medium was regular high, and low was pretty much off. And they always had it on like high or super high. So that when that heat started getting you start feeling comfortable.
You're like, okay,
sleeping in the back, man.
Yes.
But that was good, man. It's I'm glad I got it over with. But some fond memories.
Pins to keep the eyes open, right? You just
I was done.
Probably.
I was done. I was done.
You somebody to take your notes, right?
I was up for if it was a 3-hour class. The last like 30 minutes was just
difficult.
Just fighting. Oh. And then when you look at the clock, you think it'd be 5 minutes, 1 minute gone.
It's the way it slows down.
Yeah,
it slows down. Your head gets super heavy, your eyes get heavy, and you're like, no, I can keep my eyes open, and you're just straining.
Yeah.
You're trying to use muscles you had in your face, trying to keep those eyes open. I end up pinching myself. It doesn't really help. No, doesn't really help.
There it is.
Smacked my face on the desk once.
Oh, you hit?
I had my hand and it just slipped off.
Yeah, I've done that before.
That's embarrassing.
Well, the best is, we'll got one more quick story. Is that when I was working for this financial service company, and I was taking a red eye from San Francisco to, at that time, Charlotte. Right, so it was cheaper flights, and if you leave at night, you get there in the morning.
Yeah.
And there was this. I always wanted to, sit next to the window because you sleep, right?
Yeah.
Well, next thing you know, there was this dude in the middle, and we were in the exit row.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and you think you feel, I thought I was sleeping, I was dreaming, and I was like, dang, I thought I was dreaming. Somebody was, on my shoulder.
Yep.
Man, I woke up, man. Old boy was snuggled up with me. I just said, hey, I bumped him off. I said, man, get up off me, man. He's like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, you're right. You ain't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah, really comfortable shoulder
there,
man.
But Rico, he was snug. Hey,
did he have it?
The little dude was snuggled up with your boy, though, man. Rico, you know what I'm saying? Because I had the little blanket. I shouldn't even be saying this on there. I was sleeping. I had, they give you those little blankets.
Yeah.
I mean, those blankets are like paper. But still,
it's something.
But it was something, right? And I had a sweatsuit on, so I'm cool. I'm snuggled up, and you feel somebody.
He probably accidentally touched your jacket, and he was like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's pretty comfy." And
just had he had a little pillow there too.
He must have thought you took some sleeping pills. And he ain't gonna wake up.
Right. Yeah, we don't got that connection, player. It ain't happening over here. He was all snuggled up. So
he's like, "Ooh, this is kind of warm right now. Wait a minute."
Exactly. It's story time. We're going into our we're going to top of the hour. We're going into a break. We'll be back at the top of the hour. Me and Rico, I'm gonna pick Rico's brain a little bit. I'm gonna ask him about the Knicks. I'm gonna ask him about a little bit of Steph Curry, a little bit of I'm gonna ask you, Rico, what I ask everybody. I've been lucky enough to work with Jake, Nate. I haven't been able to ask Strick. I asked him offline. I'm gonna ask you, what outcome do you need after Wednesday to start the new year of Matt Rule has it, and Matt Rule and company has it under control. So we'll be back after this break, top of the hour, and then we're gonna get busy.
You're listening to Old School with D Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Landmark Implement on your dealership is searching for technicians of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package with 100% paid employee health insurance, paid time off, paid parental and bereavement leave, an annual recreation bonus, and a boot and clothing allowance. Landmark offers the latest certified John Deere training so you're up to date with the newest equipment and technology. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmark.careers. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebraska fans, Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln is a proud donor of Nebraska Athletics. Brokers Insurance Agency is located at 33rd and A Streets in the heart of Lincoln. At Brokers, they can help you with all your insurance needs. Let them worry about your insurance so you have more time to enjoy the college football season. Call one of their licensed agents today at 402-420-5353 or visit their website at brokersinsurancene.com. Go Big Red.
Paul and the staff at High Electric want to wish all 93.7 The Ticket listeners a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Cherish the season and all that it stands for. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from High Electric, your go-to in Lincoln for all electric needs.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com.
Veterans, do you know what local, state, and federal benefits and services you're eligible to receive? Do you want help navigating the application or appeals process? Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. You've served our country, now let us serve you. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We are back. Jay Foreman, Rico, and Jay, Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock. Any type of meat, any type of cut. On spices, sauces, seafood, pasta, jerky. They have sorbet. They got some. What else they got? They got some vegetables in there. They got anything and everything in there, and both for single serving and family serving. So, right before break, I said I wanted to ask Rico a question. I want to ask you, Rico, like I've asked Jake and I've asked Nate, and I think I might have asked Nick. I'm not sure. I want to ask, now obviously, look, Matt Rule's a coach, and everybody can, everybody should be, at terms with that.
Yep.
And now the talking is it's talking season. It's recruiting and talking season, getting everybody on board, which I think he's done a good job at. But now we got the big day coming on Wednesday, and it's the early sign-up period. Both, not completely done, because you might have guys that might just, commit, a day or two later. But at the end of, say like a week, the following Wednesday, what do you need to happen, or what would you like to see in the class, as far as the players, additional coaches, overall, from Matt Rule and company, to be like, you're at a New Year's party and be like, and somebody asking you, like, and you're like, yeah, I can see what he's doing and it's going in the right direction.
What would I need to see, or what would need to happen?
Yeah, what would you like? Would you like him to see, to be able to turn, or get Malachi Coleman to commit, get more linemen, a quarterback, a pass rusher, a linebacker, or linebackers, a corner, or somehow go down and recruit kids in an area that he used to recruit at Baylor or at East Coast and Temple, or so
getting
forth.
a couple
and so
of
on.
those kids from Texas would be huge, and that would just prove to me that he's still got the connections down in Texas that everybody's kind of been fond on him about. The fact that when he was at Baylor, that a lot of the Texas high school coaches really respected him and really were not afraid to send their kids to Baylor to be coached under him, because of the way that he spoke to them and everything that he said to them, and the way he proved himself to them, that they really trusted him. So getting a couple kids from Texas wouldn't be bad, but really in terms of, getting me on board, I mean, I'm already on board with Matt Rule, and I think, it's his team and he's going to lead it, and whatever happens this first season, because again, it's pretty much a full rebuild. But in terms of recruiting, the high school ranks, really, it's not going to do anything for me. He can do whatever he wants, bring in whoever he wants from the high school ranks. That's not going to do anything to ease my concerns on this first season, this next season. To me, it's the big boys in the transfer portal. It's going into the portal and getting, and I understand that it's hard to get any established, starter type out of the transfer portal, because they don't transfer very often. And when they do, they're looking for national championship level programs to go to make their mark. And Nebraska, unfortunately, is not at that level right now. But if he can go into the portal and grab, a couple offensive, defensive linemen that seem like they're ready to contribute right away in the Big Ten for Nebraska, that would get me, at a holiday party with my family, talking about, look at what Matt Rule's doing right now. Look at who he's getting out of the portal, who he's putting up to compete for a starting job. Not saying they're automatically handed it, because people don't like it when you say that, but but some of the guys that he'll be bringing in that'll be able to compete for those starting spots, the big boys up front that'll be protecting whoever ends up being the quarterback, is going to be extremely important. And that's what I'm going to be looking at for Matt Rule and this coaching staff. And look, by the end of next week, I'm hoping the coaching staff is filled out. And if it's not, then that truly, to me, signals that he's waiting for people that are currently on rosters or coaching staffs, either in the NFL or on collegiate coaching staffs.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's not strange, because I'm sure when they're going around, if he doesn't already have agreements, they're pretty lock in step with who's going to be the next, wide receiver, linebacker, and quarterback. Unless I'm guessing Satterfield might have his title changed to offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, and then they'll be looking for a tight ends coach, because I think they had Pete's, or they thought they had Pete's locked in.
Satterfield was going to be a tight end coach.
Yeah,
but the DC is a former linebacker and linebacker coach, so he could definitely coach linebacker.
Oh yeah, because he just had DC. So yeah. Okay.
So I mean, I don't think I don't think there's a rush for it, and you waited this long, and whoever it is, whether they're still making a decision or they got people waiting to finish their season out, it'll be just interesting to see, because I think when you look at the staff that they add, and then you can kind of project the type of players, and you can kind of go back and see what type of offense or defense they ran, and then you could kind of hopefully marry that ideally to who they're recruiting. You could say, oh yeah, I see this guy going in this position. That's what's going to be huge. And what I think what's going to be biggest, this is another thing I want to ask you, is what is your expectations for next year? Give him a pass. You got an 8-year contract. Who cares? I just want you to kind of get, the affairs in order. Or you expect, hey, we're paying you so much money, we expect you to be at least 6 wins or right on the cusp of 6 wins. because
Yeah.
we're paying you that much money.
That's the hard part with this, especially with, if you go by what Matt Rule, and that's kind of what everybody's doing, go by what Matt Rule has done at his previous stops. It's a rough first year, but you got to think about those previous stops. Sure, you want to say Temple is Temple, but they weren't in a terrible spot when he took over. But he rebuilt the whole thing. They won 2 games his first year, and then what happened. Baylor was in a bad spot.
Right.
He had all kinds of sanctions on him. He had a certain number of scholarships he could give out, a certain number of roster spots he had to fill out with, and people were leaving left and right. I mean, I believe that at that point the NCAA granted all of the Baylor players one free transfer,
Right.
and that was before this was even a thing. So they were like, look, crap's hit the fan. If you want to get out, you can get out.
Yeah.
And there was no repercussions for him at all. So he had to rebuild an entire roster. They won 1 game. So if you're looking at Nebraska right now, they're not in that bad of a spot. They have a decent roster. It's not the greatest roster. It's not a world-beating roster, but it's a decent roster that stuck with some pretty good teams in the previous years.
Right.
So to expect a season of less than 5 wins, I think would be asinine. I'm expecting at least a bowl game. I don't know about expecting, but I'm hoping for and thinking that this staff with Matt Rule and this roster can get to a bowl game next season.
Right.
Now, will they? I don't know, because again, he's rebuilding the entire thing. He gutted the coaching staff. He's going back with it. So everybody's going to have to learn new defensive scheme, new offensive scheme. I don't know what the terminology is going to be, if it's going to be similar to what they had before, but I'm just going to assume everything's brand new. So there's going to be some growing pains, through the offseason and through the first couple games of the season. Hopefully they can, take advantage of the early start of the season and get a couple games on some people. But look, you're going to Minnesota,
right,
and then you're going to Colorado. Colorado also rebuilding, gutting the entire Colorado is a complete gut job. Coaching staff, players, roster, everything's getting gutted there. So hopefully you can get at least 1 win out of your first 2, and then you have your non-con bye games after that. If you can get 3 wins in your first 4 games, fantastic, and I think that'll lead to a bowl game later on down the line. But if the rebuild is a little bit much, you'll be able to see it right away with this Husker football team. So, I mean, I'm expecting a bowl game. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for a bowl game.
Wet Blanket says Matt Rule has 72 million reasons not to feel any pressure. And he has no experience with the transfer portal. So that's why he has no pressure and is most likely building for year 2 and beyond. Well, that sucks for Husker fans, because you're going to sit there. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
If you're just throwing this year away,
it's
going to be
long 2 years, and it's just not good.
Just what you've gone. Just think about what you've gone through the last.
It's not even that though, man. You wait so long for football season, even if you lower expectations, and then if within the first couple of weeks, like these dudes, this is it. It's just like you're going to start to be a quasi, Kansas State fan. 2797 said, if there's a clear identity in clean football, wins don't matter in the first year. I agree with that, but then I don't. I'm a firm believer. The worst year Nebraska should have is 6 wins. I don't care who's the coach. I don't care what the year is. I don't care what the roster is. That's not even a standard. That's just something
that's the base.
That's just something that, all right, man, you could just kind of, maybe just have 2 beers and that'll make you sleep instead of have to drink a whole bottle like Jack Daniels to get you to you put yourself in comatose. I don't know if that's a good analogy. So, but at the end of the day, period. I'm telling you, 1-11, 2-10.
That should never happen.
All hell will break loose around here. Let's see what Bo Lever said he's with me, so I know we in there.
Look, if you're just resigned to the fact that this next season is a throwaway season and nothing
then
matters,
man.
And all you'll have to do is get better than where you were this season. I mean, that's the worst spot to be in as a fan. That's the worst spot to be in as a coaching staff, as a player, as anything, because you always want to win. You want to improve and you want to win, regardless of how new everything is.
Yeah, well, you got seniors. You want to, give them the best chance to win. And number 2, the best coaching jobs are sometimes the ones that you manufacture, 6 wins.
Mm-hmm.
You beat the odds. Nobody expected Illinois to be this good this year.
Mm.
People expected Purdue to be this good. Nobody expected some teams. Nobody expected Tulane to be like this. Well, that's what. Like, it's not like they say, "Oh yeah, Tulane's going to be in a New Year's Day bowl."
TCU wasn't supposed to go. There's a first year head
coach.
First year TCU.
TCU wasn't supposed to be like this. So again, if you're showing up with low expectation, your expectations should be high. Make yourself right. I always say that. Make yourself right. Don't prove anybody wrong. Prove yourself right. Have the expectations that you expect to win, play well, and all that, so forth and so on. It'll be okay, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, think this way. If you look at Nebraska's schedule, and I don't have it right in front of me, but so they have their 2 bye games. And if you're Nebraska, you expect to win those 2. Colorado's got a new head coach. They're gutting the entire program. If you just look at the Big Ten West, Wisconsin's got a new head coach. Purdue has a new head coach. I mean, that's 5 wins right there. Northwestern, I don't know how good they're going to be, but they've been bad for 2 years straight, which never happened. So who's to say it won't be 3 years? And I don't want to go out and say this because, that's just – I don't want to go and look at the schedule and be like, oh, that should be a win, that should be a win, that should be a win. Because, look, if you look at Nebraska in the past couple of years against the Big Ten West, they haven't had a winning record against anybody. Granted, that was an old coaching staff. This is a new coaching staff. But that's just kind of how it was, regardless of how dominant people thought Nebraska should be or would be. They weren't dominant against the people that they played year after year.
Yeah, I don't like looking at the schedule and say, oh, we should win that. We're not good. We're not that good anymore.
And I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying, like, if you look at those,
there's not a game that we should be showing up thinking that we're going to win.
Yeah, that's 5 games against, equal.
Expecting to win, but it's not a foregone conclusion. Don't think that Colorado's not going to compete. We're not any different than them.
No.
So both of us have played bad enough to get a coach fired. Both of us are starting over. Both of us have new guys that have unique personalities that are trying to reshape the program and however they're trying to do it. We probably have more talent on our roster than Colorado at this moment. But don't think one of the best recruiters and developers and a guy with a big personality won't supersede, previous expectations in year one. And he's not coaching to just get beat. He's going to be coaching every game to win. So, it's a unique time for, this is a new Nebraskan. So you got to, come to terms with it. And it's just as big a risk of, like when we said, to bring, when they said bring Scott back, it's a big risk that we're doing right now, both financially and brand and stature wise. But, we're at where we're at right now. And it's a lot of it's our own doing, a lot of it's circumstances. But at the end of the day, you're still here. So you either got to fight your way out of the corner or still stay in there in the corner and just getting haymakered by Mike Tyson. And yes to the texter, I am wearing the vest. What people don't understand, I have 3 of these. 3 of them? I have 2 Nike ones and Adidas one. So it's a rotation. So if you see the Husker shirt, I'm wearing the Adidas one. If you see a gray or I have a dark gray pullover hoodie, it's usually a Nike one. One Nike one has a hoodie on it itself, and then this one here has a hoodie. So I just want to let you know about the fashion there.
Some nice vests.
Yeah, these are like 6, 7, 8 years old. Bo Lever says we need to go onside kick every time we kick. I hear you, Bo Lever. Doubt it. That's a good way to get
just do it.
Start the party off. You start to write your obituary as a coach. I always say this. Coaches usually have an obituary of themselves themselves, and it's sometimes what they say or a coaching decision. I said it last year, not this season, the previous season before, when Texas was up by like 30 points on Oklahoma.
Yep.
And then Oklahoma came back and won on like a fullback dive from like 60 yards.
You did.
I said, that's number 1 on his obituary. Because not only it's one thing to lose a game like that, right? But when you lose to Oklahoma like that, it's not good. Because they're always going to go back to, see, we should have fired you after year 1 because you couldn't close it out, even though you had a pretty good year for Texas this year. So,
yeah, well, then they started the season. It was like game 3 or whatever against Alabama, and
it was up and down.
If Quinn Ewers didn't get hurt,
yeah, up and down.
They would have won that game.
But then they got Arch Manning coming in, so we'll see. So,
I think he bought himself like 2 or 3 years because you got another year of Quinn at least, and then 2 years of Arch. Maybe.
Yeah, well, Arch has got to be there 3 years. Quinn Ewers, I don't know.
Well, this was his,
the mullet Mad Bomber. Who knows?
Sophomore season, his redshirt freshman. So he's got one more, and then he came.
We shall see.
It's going to be interesting if we're speaking quarterbacks. I mean,
yeah, we're going to talk about that in the next segment. So, Jay and Rico, old school, bringing it back old school. We're going to take a short break and come back. We're going to talk about the quarterback room at Nebraska, recruiting quarterbacks, and ideally what type of quarterback do we need if we choose to add with Casey Thompson, or if Casey chooses to move, or if there's a mutual decision. We'll be back. Jay and Rico.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
Paul and the staff at High Electric want to wish all 93.7 The Ticket listeners a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Cherish the season and all that it stands for. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from High Electric, your go-to in Lincoln for all electric needs.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben sandwich or the prime rib French dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Life's special moments deserve to be celebrated. Since 1959, Riddle's Jewelry has been family-owned, and we're honored to be part of your family's most cherished moments. Riddle's will help you make this holiday special with savings of up to 50% on our sparkling selection of diamond, gemstone, and gold jewelry. Shop our holiday sale to find the perfect gift to celebrate the amazing memories this year has made. Riddle's Jewelry, for life's special moments since 1959.
Located inside Gateway Mall. Rico here for Little Brooklyn Daycare. Look, I have 2 young kids and my wife and I both have full-time jobs. So we need a place we can trust to take care of our kids during the day. That place is Little Brooklyn Daycare. And now they're enrolling for kids from 2 years old to school age. And they're also hiring experienced teachers. Call them today at 402-742-0363 to schedule a tour to see if it's the right fit for you and your kids. Little Brooklyn Daycare, located in Fallbrook in Northwest Lincoln.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies at times. We will see a chance of flurries moving through the region. And northwest winds will gust 35 to 40, only reaching a high of 27. Partly cloudy tonight, still breezy with a low of 15. Winds will gradually diminish tomorrow with an afternoon high of around 30. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
2022 flew by fast. And while you celebrate the upcoming holidays, Mullen Motors is looking ahead to 2023 and trying to open up space on their lot. Stop by Mullen Motors for their year-end sale and select from some of the best options of used vehicles in Lincoln at the best prices of the year. Don't end the year in your aging vehicle. Search Mullen Motors Lot today for their year-end sale, just north of 48th and Lake.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Jay and Rico, Old School, bringing it back. Old School. First one. Were you the first? You were the first one. Me, you, and DP.
Nah, you and Nick.
Nick,
You,
yeah,
Nick and DP.
yeah. We went all over the place, man. A couple messages on the Starter Heyman text line. Thomas in Lincoln says he was pissed last year. I hear you, Thomas.
Pissed.
Let me see. Bo Lever said Charlie McBride said after the Colorado game, Nebraska couldn't tackle a fat lady in the mud if she had the last sandwich on earth. That was during Coach Bowles' defense. Yes, I remember that. It was. You know what was funny about that game?
Old dudes have best sayings.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. I forget the running back's name was Chris Brown.
Okay.
Okay, and tall, lanky, but he could roll, right? And I remember I was playing in Buffalo at the time and watching the game. You know, Sean Bryson, one of my best friends of Tennessee, Nebraska was there, and they just got destroyed by Colorado, but still made the national championship. And I remember Chris Brown it looked like he had 500 yards. You know what I'm saying? It just looked like on a repeat, you know, like, you know, in Madden. After you score, they just replay the play.
Keep going.
It just looked like same play over. Same guys chasing him, and all you see was Chris Brown touchdown, right? I was so mad about that game. And then when I got traded down to Houston, every time I played against Chris Brown, I tried to kill him. Literally. And then one time I went for like a flying, like, horizontal headshot.
Yeah.
And he saw me and ducked, and I think I hit Gary Walker. And Gary was like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just said, what are you doing, man? He said, what are you doing? I was like,
you know what I'm trying to do.
I was like, this game is personal. He's like, well, you personally hit me. And Gary was about 310. So, yeah, that didn't work out too well. It actually looked like, you know, you know who really got a good hit on him was my linebacker mate, Jamie Sharp, knocked him smooth out on a check down. As soon as he turned around, that was when you could headhunt in the league.
Oh, yeah.
So you could catch him underneath the chin. Good. I mean, he looked like he was a crime scene. You know how they had the bodies? He was out. Yeah.
Oh, laid him out.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Poor guy.
Rico, before the break, I was asking you about the quarterback position.
Yes.
The quarterback room. I think we have a quarterback. Well, we had a quarterback in Sims last week.
A new one this week.
New this from Arkansas.
Yes.
Right. We have Casey. We have Chuba. We have Logan. We got Heinrich, Richard Torres, and Heinrich Harburg, right?
Yep.
Double H. We need to call him the H2 Hummer. H2.
Ooh,
Remember the H2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He need to change number.
Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
There's NIL deal.
Come
there
on.
it is. The
Man.
Hummers, I think, are too hard to fix, though.
I'll be waiting for my Hummer.
Yeah.
I ain't paying for gas though.
right now. What do you think about the quarterback room? What do you think Matt Rule's going to do? What do you think in comparison? Obviously, there's not a Spencer Rattler out there, but what do you think it's going to look at? Do you think Nebraska's going to try to have a bridge started this year, kind of roll with Casey Thompson?
So
maybe have a guy, because I think the Arkansas kid would be more
Malik
of a backup,
Hornsby.
right?
Yeah, so he's got 3 years to play too. We were talking to Brian
Developmental
Wilson about
project.
this. Yeah,
right.
and he has a lot of connections with Matt Rule. He was going to go to Baylor with Matt Rule before he left for Carolina. So they know each other. They already have a connection that way. But the thing with the quarterback room for Nebraska right now is they have 5 scholarship quarterbacks, right? 3 of those scholarship quarterbacks have had surgery already this year. Chuba Purdy had surgery on his ankle after whatever game it was that he got hurt. And then Logan and Casey have both had shoulder surgery. I know Casey's was on his labrum. So right now, Nebraska's down the 3 quarterbacks who have any game experience for them. After that, you have the redshirt freshman in Richard Torres and the redshirt sophomore in Heinrich Harburg, and neither one of them have seen any game reps, any meaningful game reps for Nebraska. So getting a quarterback in here who's played in the collegiate ranks could be very important just to get somebody in here to take some snaps and possibly get ready to start next season. Also, you don't know what Casey Thompson's not just his injury and how ready he's going to be for the spring season, but is he going to come back here? Is he going to transfer? I mean, he still could. You've seen quarterbacks who are injured transfer and find homes before. Is he going to?
Yeah, we've seen with Adrian.
Yeah, is he
and it
going
works out
to
pretty well.
declare for the NFL draft or something? I don't know. Go to the CFL, go to the XFL, whatever, and try to make a name for himself because he is. I think he's 24, 25 years old already, so he's getting up there in age to continue to be a collegiate quarterback. But if you get a Malik Hornsby, he's got, again, 3 years to play too, so he could get here, redshirt a season,
learn the system,
and
develop.
and then be ready to play next season for you and be that starter, that bridge starter for whoever you end up getting in the 23 or 24 class, if that's somebody that you're looking forward to and you don't trust the people that are currently on your roster. Again, that is if you're retaining Casey or Logan or Chubba and feel good about any of them starting. If not, I still think it's important that you go out and get a quarterback just because you've seen kind of what you have with those other three quarterbacks. You know Casey, what he can give you, and then Chubba and Logan,
you don't really know.
You're not really sure what they can give you.
Here's why I want to ask you this. Okay? We all know the play calling and Mark Whipple was.
It was not conducive to those two.
It was not conducive to anybody.
No.
And you want to know why I know it wasn't? That last play, his last play that he called here in Nebraska was a dipsy-do. I don't know what that was. And it was the most crucial play of the game.
Yeah.
A double shift snap when these guys aren't even got to the other side. That right there is just, that's it.
Yeah.
So I would ask you this. Do you think, because there might be more quarterbacks come out of the transfer portal after spring. And I think with the NCAA rule that went through last year that coaches can spend more time with players in the offseason, that it's not as much. It is important to be in early. Let me be clear on that. But it's not a death sentence if Rico transfers in after spring and really hits it May, June, July, August.
Yep.
And the reason why I want to ask you this, do you think it's very, very important that the staff comes in and really gets a true, honest evaluation of what's in every single room, most importantly, quarterback room, because that is your position. Whether it's Casey, this is not saying don't bring in anybody else. You might bring in somebody like the young man that's coming in this weekend, knowing that the plan is, hey, look, we're going to develop him. This is a guy that if he progresses, he could be a 2-year starter. But just think of the guys that you haven't seen or really got to know. You know what you're going to get in Casey, because I'm sure that Matt Rule knew about Casey in Baylor.
He's played football long enough. You know what you're getting.
Yeah. Chubba Purdy has never really played and never really been healthy.
No.
So, and Logan Smother has never really been coached, assuming like your offensive coordinator is going to be coached.
I don't think you've used him to truly take advantage of his
abilities.
Set. Yeah.
Right. That's number 2, because some of his abilities you can't see on a piece of paper.
No,
you actually can't even see when you watch. His intangibles are up there with Casey's, which actually would help him leapfrog Logan or Chubba.
Yeah.
Then you have Heinrich Herberg, right, where he looks like
a tight end,
a dude, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Richard Torres. If you talk to people down at practice, once he started to get healthy, he had the most swag, he had the most moxie, and he had the most fire of everybody besides Casey.
Rocket arm Torres.
And I was just about to say it. What a hose. So when you think about that, do you have that superior confidence in yourself that I can get 2 or 3 viable, even backup options out of those 4 guys? Or do we say, you know what, we're going to just actually start over and go there? Because if for every guy that you pick up in the transfer portal at the quarterback position, it's essentially at least 1 quarterback has to leave, and sometimes 2.
Maybe 2. Usually 2, probably.
So if you pick up 2, then you're telling 4 other guys, like, hey,
you ain't
in the plans, player.
And that's and I agree with that. And that's the hard part about it all, because if you don't snag a quarterback now, who's to say what quarterbacks are in the portal come springtime? If you go through this right now and you do what you're saying, which I agree with, I think you should find out exactly what you have in that room in terms of the style of play that you want to go with, and your quarterback's coach and what he thinks he can do with those players, the intangibles they have, the mental makeup of them, and exactly how he can work with them. I think that's extremely important to find out what you have and how much you can work with them. But if you don't go and get your quarterback, somebody that you truly, if there's somebody in the portal right now that you think this guy would fit perfectly, and you don't get him,
and you have intel on
yeah, and you don't get him,
Yeah.
he goes somewhere else, and then springtime comes around, and you're like, you know what? The 5 quarterbacks we have in here, we have 1, maybe 2 that we truly think can run this offense to a T. And you look in the portal, and there's a bunch of 4th stringers who weren't going to make it on their teams.
A bunch of scrubby dubs.
You're screwed. Then you're stuck with what you got. So I think it's important to evaluate what you have as quickly as you can, and it's especially hard when your top 3 are injured. But evaluate what you have, and don't be afraid to maybe step on some toes and bring in some more competition.
Yeah, well, first of all, just on your arrival alone, you've already stepped on toes. Just on pretty much firing everybody on the staff, you've stepped on toes. Just on the simple of gotten rid of a lot of the video people from last year and all that stuff. The shock waves is there. So anything now is just kind of normal practices, right? So I think it's huge. And I think, you know what, if there's I look at it like this way. Quarterbacks are like, let's just say, dream houses, right?
Okay.
And so when you're going out and say you have, I wouldn't say you have unlimited money, but you have, within your budget to buy your dream house, and you see it, and then you're like, oh man, I'd heard on the Instagram story, but that the housing market is going to drop, and we could buy the house that we really can't get, but that's really our super dream house. And right.
Yep.
Well, then guess what? It doesn't happen. You lose your dream house that everybody was in lock and step with, and now you're going out there looking for. Now you're desperate shopping.
You're looking for anything.
Now you're like, you know what? Actually, really wanted 3-car garage, but I'll deal with 1. I wanted 3 bedroom or bathrooms. Okay, I'll deal with 1.5. Then you're kind of like lowering your expectations.
You're like, this could work.
Well, this is like, I'll make it work, but I know deep down it won't work, and then I'm going to be kicking myself later.
Yep.
We've already kind of seen that. So you actually have to be aggressive, but you have to be smart, but then you have to be like superiorly confident. And you have to be okay with sometimes guys will come in and lay an egg. But
you also have to be okay with, grabbing what you want now, and then later on, if you're going to the grocery store, you grab all this stuff, and then later on there's a sale and there's something that's really good and it's on sale. And it's like, well, I got what I got.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I can make this work.
You know what it is? It's just like the draft. If you ever see teams that'll, have a linebacker crew that's good, but then, Micah Parsons fall. Dallas is a perfect example. They had Van Der Esch. They had the linebacker from Notre Dame, Jalen Smith, and then they had 50. Oh man,
Sean Lee,
and they had another linebacker that was kind of like a hybrid. They had 3.
It was nice.
Yeah, 3 3 Pro Bowlers. Micah Parsons falls to him. You got to take him.
You don't not take Micah Parsons.
You got to take him. You find a way.
Yeah.
And then eventually it all played out, right? Van Der Esch didn't have a good year, stepped it up. Jalen Smith kind of slowed down after you got paid, got lazy, and his play slipped. He's the guy that's gone.
Yep.
And then Sean Lee retired. Now everything kind of shook out.
It looked perfect.
Now just imagine if you didn't get Micah Parsons. And I'll also say this for the transfer portal before we go to break. Just think back to when we were looking for a quarterback in the transfer portal. It really came down to Casey Thompson and the quarterback that stayed at LSU because of the NIL deals, and he ended up quitting.
Oh, now, you're right.
Yeah, right. So just imagine this. Oh. Just imagine this, that we didn't take Casey, because we slow played Casey to the point that Casey was like, all right, I'm going to go to somewhere else. But just think, if we really slow played Casey, or just said, oh, we don't want you, and we were waiting on him.
That would have been a world of hurt.
Right. Then
you would have been.
To your point, Rico, you're 100% right. You have to be aggressive. You see what you want, especially a quarterback. You make that decision, because it's such a huge decision. Look, I'll say this, and before we get to break, we got like 30 more seconds.
Oh, we're good. You can keep going.
quarterback decisions early in a coaching like tenure is make or break. Look at it. When Bo and those guys essentially, I wouldn't say gave the position to Adrian Martinez, but he didn't beat Zach Lee out. He said, you know what, he's just more dynamic. Well, then you can't recruit another kid because you got a freshman starting. When we decided on Adrian, that just nullified any type of legitimate quarterback recruiting for at least the next 2 or 3 years. And now I'm not saying not play them if they're good enough. All I'm saying is if I'm turning my keys over to a freshman or a redshirt freshman or a true sophomore or a transfer portal guy that's a redshirt freshman, you better be Tommy Frazier. You better be Tim Tebow. You better be Cam Newton. But
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, those type of guys within Nebraska's system in Nebraska's qualification. Because if it's not, I'm telling you, if it's not, and it doesn't look good, and if other positions fail around the quarterback, that's how you lose Zane Flores. That's how you're not even in contact, or at least the previous staff wasn't in contact with the Bellevue West quarterback, right? Not high on his list. And the guy in North and South Dakota that just went to Ohio State, and he was at Washington before. And there's another quarterback, I think, at Iowa Western.
Yeah, Nebraska's like surrounded. The state of Nebraska is surrounded by South Dakota. I think there's one in Colorado,
and Des Moines,
Kansas,
and Des Moines.
Yep.
And so there's like 6 or 7, all going to major power
in Nebraska.
2 in Nebraska. That's how you can do it. Because here's what people, and I always try to tell high school coaches this: how you coach Rico as a, say you're a junior or a sophomore, there's those 7th and 8th and 9th graders that know Rico in any sport. So, and they know, and these kids know whether you're good or not, right? And say you have Jay Foreman that I'm never around, and then how you didn't, say I'm just a so-so player, and Rico, you're better, or they know that you are good, as just as good. Those kids sit up there and watch football and basketball. And the thing is, we always tell kids, everybody's watching. I would tell coaches, everybody's watching. The parents are watching. The high school coaches are watching. The 7-on-7 league director coaches and coaching staff is watching.
And they talk.
Well, they do talk, because at the end of the day, they usually come to those coaches, especially like a Steve Warren, Abdul Muhammad. I know Steve Warren has Tony Veland on his staff, Zach Bauman, Jamel Williams. I know there's another Husker. He has a lot of guys that help out. So that's when they're talking to these athletes, or just, when they ask and give advice, because I know Steve and those guys don't ever try to push anybody. They only sit there if you bring them into the conversation. Their reputation is on the line. So now they can't make emotional decisions, because if I lead Rico wrong, knowingly do it, then when they come to try to recruit Jay Foreman, because Rico was the senior at Bellevue West when I was an 8th grader or 9th grader, and somehow I heard the conversation, whether it was right, wrong, or indifferent, that's how you start to lose in-state recruits. And I'll say this before anybody goes crazy with it. I truly think since Mickey was hired, I think those relationships have been on the mend, and I think Coach Rule and those guys are doing a really good job of continuing that process. But this is not just in what I'm going to say this isn't just with Frost staff. This is a little bit also with Mike Riley and also with Bo.
Yes.
And so you're talking about 3 tenures in different levels to where you're looking down on local talent. Say, okay, so Rico's a 4-star from Bellevue West or whatever. You're just a receiver, DB from Bellevue West. Jay Foreman's from, John Smith is from Texas. Same player.
Same build.
We'll ask you to walk on, and we'll give him a scholarship.
Yep.
Okay. Say you didn't get a scholarship to go to North Dakota State, which we've seen, right?
Yep.
Easton Stick, right? And you end up Easton Stick's in the NFL now. He backed up Phil Rivers, and he's on a roster, and he won a couple national championships. And then the other player that we got is gone is transferred,
Transfer portal,
flamed out in 2 years. So I think, and I will say this, I think Coach Rule is going about the right way. I think when Mickey was on the staff, I think they were trying to go about the right way. Vince Ginter, you see a lot more early offers on Nebraska kids, that have earned it. You look at Jalen Lloyd, you look at the kicker, You look at some of the guys, Goldman up at Gretna, the offensive lineman.
Yep.
You look at some of the offensive linemen that we got in this class. So I think the previous staff learned from maybe earlier in their tenure, but how important that is, whether it's the quarterback position or any other position, it's huge because everybody's watching. And then also, I'll say this, not only is everybody watching, all the other coaches are watching. So what people don't understand, you can negative recruit against a Nebraska. Because I could be like, hey, Rico, look, man, you're a quarterback. They haven't signed any of you guys they don't really want you guys.
You really think they're looking at you?
You really think you're looking at you? Look what we've done. Our one, if I'm Wisconsin, one quarterback from Kansas. We got another quarterback coming in. He's from Illinois.
Yep.
You know, this, and this. There you go. Other one, you know, from Indiana or whatever they came from. We play no favors. And we will recruit out of our state. And if we're recruiting you and you're not from the state of Wisconsin and you're good enough, you will start.
Yep.
That's how it goes. And so it's a big decision. It's a big weekend. I'm sure everybody's fingers are crossed that we get about 8,000 commits. You know, if we have 15 guys I wonder what the shockwaves would be. This is what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to what number out of this weekend do you need out of commits? Okay. When we come back, we'll do that as we go into the weekend. Jay Foreman, Rico, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
It's tailgate season. Why would you bounce around from place to place for all your beverage needs when you could have it all in one place? Wine, Beer, and Spirits has everything for your parties with their 3 locations in Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. It's the largest liquor store in the state, and here's the best part. You can get a drink from their bar and walk around with it as you shop for all your tailgate necessities. Locally owned and operated, it's Wine, Beer, and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. Rico here for Little Brooklyn Daycare. Look, I have 2 young kids, and my wife and I both have full-time jobs. So we need a place we can trust to take care of our kids during the day. That place is Little Brooklyn Daycare. And now they're enrolling for kids from 2 years old to school age. And they're also hiring experienced teachers. Call them today at 402-742-0363 to schedule a tour to see if it's the right fit for you and your kids. Little Brooklyn Daycare, located in Fallbrook in Northwest Lincoln.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Life's special moments deserve to be celebrated. Since 1959, Riddle's Jewelry has been family-owned, and we're honored to be part of your family's most cherished moments. Riddle's will help you make this holiday special with savings of up to 50% on our sparkling selection of diamond, gemstone, and gold jewelry. Shop our holiday sale to find the perfect gift to celebrate the amazing memories this year has made. Riddle's Jewelry, for life's special moments since 1959.
Located inside Gateway Mall.
Decking the halls with boughs of holly sure sounds great until you're the one who has to do it. Take the stress out of your holiday parties this year and host your gatherings at Suite A Events by Mary Ellen's. Suite A is the perfect place for your year-end company parties or other large gatherings. Sweet A and Mary Ellen's can handle the food, the desserts, the decorations, and of course, those holiday spirits. See for yourself online at sweetaevents.com or at 27th and Pine Lake, right next to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Pumps in a back, pumps in a back. We like the girls with the pumps in a back, pumps in a back, pumps in a back. We like the girls with the pumps in a back, pumps in a back, pumps in a back. We like the girls with the pumps in a back, pumps in a back, pumps in a back. Give me the girls with the pumps in a back.
Oh man, we are back, man. That was hey.
Phone on silence.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Jay, no, nothing. This isn't Jay. No, this ain't me, player. It sounds like you.
Straight to voicemail.
It sounds like you. Hey, hold on. Let me call you right back. Click. Yeah, I'm just playing. Oh man, that was funny, man.
I'm sorry, my phone was in charge.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Exactly, right? Early in the morning, you know it's been on the charger all night. Before we went to break, we were talking about recruiting and talking about how we actually how we got here as far as recruiting, and how you can repair it, and it's not going to be overnight, just like Nebraska getting back to prominence. So where we're at is where we're at, but we got a big weekend here, and I'm sure most majority of the players are here now. And so if not, they're getting here. It's a big weekend down there at for the football team, the coaches, the players, the team, and quite frankly, the university and the state. So it's 13 kids in this weekend, 18 from the prior weekend, which is good.
I think it's up to 15 now. They've been adding people.
And you know what's good, Rico? Sometimes you can have 18 guys in one weekend and they can leave. Oh yeah, I got Nebraska in my pocket. Oh well, hey, the linebacker came in.
Surprise!
Hey, coach, what's up? The offer's still good. You got it. So what it does is still puts it as much pressure as it is on Nebraska to get commits. You still got to be strategic about it, but you also know there's pressure on both sides, right?
Yeah,
now
it's not putting the pressure on them, straight from your mouth, but it's like, hey,
circumstances. It is what it is.
The spot might fill.
Right. Yeah. Snooze, you lose. And we just talked about with quarterback and you're choosing schools. So I wanted to ask you, Rico, out of 15, and how many commits do we have right now?
I think they're at 18.
So we're at 18. I mean, I'm going to ask you.
They could be 20.
Okay, for this class.
Yeah, for this class. That's right. I'm going to look.
Okay, we'll go 20. Dang, that's a lot. That's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, I know.
So we're at 20. I'm going to ask you two things. In the first year, what number total in a class would you like? And I know it could be a little bit more based on who stays and goes off the present roster. What number you would like?
Oh, no, they're at 15.
Oh, they're at 15.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's even better. What number would you like Nebraska to end at? And then what number would you be truly excited about coming out after
this weekend?
This weekend.
For this class, if you're going to include transfer portal within
the class,
everybody's
in there.
Class rankings, they're at 15 now. 20. It's going to be a big 28.
You think they're going to be a 28 by
next
Wednesday?
I would be happy.
Rico, that's double the class right now.
I would be happy with 28. Well, there's but the thing is there are people right now that might be silently committed.
Yeah.
They could have guys who are already like, yeah, I'm coming to Nebraska, but I ain't going to make it official.
But let me ask you this then, before you get to the last one. Okay, well, no, what? Answer the question.
Okay.
How many would you like after this week?
Out of this 15? Weekend, out of the 15, they're 4. They were 4 for 18 from last weekend. I would be okay with it. 15.
3.
Give me 3.
Yeah. So then you'd be at 18. Now let me ask you this. I think the previous staff would tell you they wish they didn't have such a big class the first year. Are you in agreement in your first year to have a smaller class, or do you have enough confidence in this coaching staff and recruiting staff, because I think Vince Ginta is still here and some of those guys are still here, that you could hit the ground running and already have good intel on what the type of player you like?
Ooh.
Because I think obviously the new staff had liked the recruiting class that Nebraska had, some of the guys, because they went and re-recruited all those guys. Even, they were down at Doss, Jaden Doss down in Kansas City.
I think so. Kansas City. 3 people.
Yeah, they sent
including the head coach.
Yeah, head coach and
2 assistants.
2 assistants. So they liked him, and he knows it, and so he stayed committed. So what do you think? Do you think a bigger class because you have confidence that they know what they're doing? They seem like a little bit more detailed. Or do you like, hey, let's have a small class and let's see where we can get there?
I think they're going to go bigger class just because, as somebody pointed out on the text line, I think they're also preparing not only for this year. I think the transfer portal kids are going to be a this year thing, but the class this year is going to be bigger because they're going to be preparing for next year. I think this year is going to be whatever this year is, hopefully 6 wins. It should be 6 wins, but it's also going to be an evaluation of the roster as it is.
Yeah,
because they can't go through any practices. So
Right.
this spring and everything, they're going to go through this roster, see exactly what it is. As the season goes through, they'll see exactly what it is. And you might see more people leave next year than you saw this year.
After a full year. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. But then they got to be prepared for that. One of the Texas Jeremy, this is a good question here. Right, going into the weekend. He says, Jay, would you say a high 4-star kid out of McCook, Nebraska or North Platte, Nebraska plays the same level of competition as a day as a low 3-star kid out of South Lake, Carroll, or Austin Westlake? Probably not. But the only reason I'm saying here, Texas Jeremy, is the kid out of North Platte or McCook are playing for different reasons. So if everything's equal, the ability to the ceiling, I would say that the North Platte kid is, I would bet more money that he would be here 4 to 5 years versus South Lake, Carroll, Texas, because they play a different brand of Texas or football down there. But hey, look, man, it doesn't matter where he's from. If he's in Alaska and he can ball out, we need him. If you're from, what's the other one? Montana. Well, some places I've never been, never probably will go. Montana, Wyoming,
Well, Idaho.
Hey,
potato body.
Hey, right. Or well, you rather have a potato body, or would you rather have a potato body or a wax body, as they said Carmelo Anthony had? I'd rather have a wax body.
That wax body got a lot of money.
Yeah, and you can make something out of wax.
Here we go.
So we are out of here. Have a good weekend. Keep your fingers crossed, and we'll see what happens after this weekend.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams.